right, you're welcome back to Open Access, and today on Open Access we'll be tackling cultism and drug abuse. You know, drug abuse and cultism are twin social vices that have a huge adverse effect on not just the victim, but also their families and the society at large, economically and security-wise. And that is why we have brought it up, and because it has become very prevalent in our society today. Young ones as little as those in primary school are getting involved in this. How do we start to tackle it? How do we begin to prefer solutions to these societal menace? And we are not alone. We are joined by Mr. Sani Irakmo. He is a youth and anti-drug abuse advocate of Nigeria.
Good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're joining us, you can call in, and of course, it's participatory. You can call the line 0811-266-8143, and of course, you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0805-5454-846 and 0817. I would say 4.9, but there's nothing like that. So it is 9999007. Of course, the number will be on your screen shortly. You can as well join us on all our social media platforms, on Twitter at Lagos Television, on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as, where else again? YouTube, of course. Of course, you can watch us live on our website, lagostelevision.com, and of course, you can download the app and of course watch us on the go. So we are virtually everywhere. So please watch us, and of course, contribute, send in your messages as we talk about something very prevalent now in our society. Okay,
Mr. Rambo, at what point, let's just get right into it, at what point does someone get to the point of, oh, you're now abusing drug? What level do you get to?
Well, when we talk about drug abuse, we have 6 categories.
6
categories. The first category is we look at the experimentation stage, where the curiosity of youths want to taste, they want to feel. How does it look like? Then the second category we have it when we begin to look at the recreational / what we call the social use. This category, people abuse drugs in a social gathering. Because maybe, for example, now if I want to organize a birthday, because of the friends that are coming, he wants to also belong to the class.
To participate.
To participate. He wants to feel among. You understand? That is the second category. We also look at it from what we call the regular use. The regular use, these are people that take drugs maybe in the morning before they go to work. They want to say, okay, let me take something. Then in the evening when they come back, they take drug. We look at what we call the intensive use. The intensive use are people that take drug occasionally. Occasionally, for example, they might decide to, maybe situations just push them, they are frustrated in one particular issue, so they feel the only way they can come out of this situation is to take drug. Then we look at the dependence, or what we call the intensive use, the addiction itself. This is a point where the individuals can no longer do without drugs. You want to sleep drug, you want to wake up drugs, everything that you do is drugs. In fact, this particular individual, any attempt for them to withdraw from drugs, it feels as if they want to die. So at that point, that is the point of drug abuse. At that stage, the system has been conditioned, the body has been congealed to drugs. There is nothing you can do again. Then there are people that also take drugs for what we call the therapeutic use. These are the category of people that take drugs based on the form of illness. Maybe they have one form of illness they cannot do without drugs, and this can only be taken by the prescription given by a medical doctor. So when we talk about drug abuse, they are in various stages. But at this, the one that is conversant with our youth right now is the first stage of experimentation. At that stage, they are even doing a lot of mixture. They are bringing a lot of chemical composition just to feel among them. But we are telling them that this is not the best way to go.
What's the thin line between experimentation and recreational and social use?
Yeah, I think there is no thin line, because the experimentation leads to the recreational use. But at the recreational stage, this is mostly abused by, let me say, artists. You feel artists want to go on stage to perform. They want to induce themselves with some chemical substance so that they can gain the necessary energy and confidence to deal with the public. At that stage also, you want to see youth want to take drugs because he wants to talk to a fair lady. Thank God you and I, we are light skin person. Joshua, I hope you won't contaminate us. He wants to take drugs at that time so that he can talk to a beautiful lady. This kind of people, we refer to them as display what we call false confidence because they lack the confidence to deal with the issue. So the only thing that can enable them achieve their aim at that particular time is to take drugs. Wow. So that point of experimentation, people who find it funny don't go ahead with such. But people who want to stay, let me go back again, because at that first stage, there's an experience. When you go, you now feel, what did I take that just made me feel somehow? So you want to go back again to experiment. You understand? So at that point, he might decide to hook or he might decide to escape. Because what we always advise youth is this: because of the genetic vulnerability, you don't know who is going to, for example, people who just take drugs now, you don't know that first stage, you might even run mad. Statistics have it that 85% of lunatics, mad people in Nigeria, are between the age 18 and 38. So what we are saying is the level of experimentation is very high, and the only way we can deal with the issue is to enlighten the public, and that is
okay. The last time you were
doing in this platform.
Between the last time you were here and now, the federal government has taken some steps by banning some drugs, withdrawing them from like tramadol and his brothers. What has that done to the system?
It has worsened the system.
How?
Let me give you this simple analogy. If you want to cut a tree, where do you go to? Do you go to the roots or you go to the stem or to the branches? What the government has done, they just cut one of the branch and thinking that they've uprooted the tree from the soil, without them knowing that what they have done has also opened another page of another form of abuse. Let me just give you one instance. The band is something that is enriching some other people, and youth also are doing what is humanly possible to feed their bad habits, because at the point of addiction, the body is yearning for more drugs, and once you don't have that drugs at that present time to fill that vacant, it sounds as if you want to die. So the point of banning this codeine or tramadol, it is not the best approach. It is good, but it is not the best approach. It is not best because the best way you can tackle issue where drugs is killing numbers of our youths in a state where 6 out of 10 are drug abusers, in a state where 3 out of 10 are seriously in brain damage. You understand? So we are telling people that the best approach, especially the government, the best approach is to educate the people. Because until you educate the common man on the dangers of drug abuse, there is no way we can totally tackle this problem. So the ban has not really helped matters. Because on paper, you see the cost of the interced, that was 1.3 billion worth of codeine and tramadol. These are people who still want to go into the business because they feel they want to make some youth wayward so that they can be rich. And you don't know that whatever you sow, you reap. They are throwing stones into the market. It can hit their fellow human being, it can hit their family member, it can hit your father, because when it comes to drug abuse, it is environmental. The environment you stay, people are abusing drugs, so it can affect any member of your family. So what government should do is to launch out very massively to educate the people on the dangers of drug abuse.
I do know that Lagos State government has launched a program actually to tackle this. There's a campaign going on to ensure that young ones understand the import of abusing drugs. Hopefully that will also contribute to ensuring that the abuse stops, actually.
Mr. Irapo, you are the coordinator of Youth and Anti-Drug Abuse Advocate of Nigeria. I'm sure you have, interfaced with a lot of young ones who are addicts. How have they been able to overcome after becoming addicts, and how can they get back, into the society to have a functional life?
Well, the society where we live in, there is so much decay. There is so much infrastructure deficit. And once we have this, we cannot totally tackle this problem. Because at the point of addiction, the addict itself is crying for help. Who is going to help? The situation, the laws are not there to even protect these users. They still decriminal. I will be saying that the issue of drug abuse, it has been criminalized for so long. So we are also advocating that the issue should be decriminalized. Not everybody that takes drugs is a criminal. We should change the narrative so that people that are drug abusers, people who are seriously in addiction, can come and say, oh, please, I need help. We should see drug abuse as a public health issue. Once you see something as a public health issue, for example, if I'm having any form of ailments, now where should I go to? I should go to a clinic where a medical doctor will examine me and know what is wrong with me. The same thing should apply to drug abuse issue, whereby we should have what we call rehabilitation centers, where people that are addicted can say, okay, let me walk in so that I can find succor to my problems.
Do you know if there are any rehabilitation centers?
Even if we have, who can afford it? Can you afford it? Let me give you one scenario of an artist, and I don't want to mention the name, who was seriously in addiction. I'm aware of one good Nigerian that paid over 35 million naira. How many of our youths can afford that? I'm aware that for you to even seek this solution, for you to be counseled, you pay 50,000 naira for you to be counseled. How many of our youths can afford all these things? But these are the things that government, the structures that government can put in place in order for we to tackle the problems holistically.
Perhaps in case some of our youth don't understand the veracity of what we're talking about, because we've painted the picture that even for you to get yourself out of this, you just have to, your family members, you have to...
The habit itself is expensive.
It's expensive. They're not cheap.
Perhaps give us an insight into what it means for you to take drugs and how you deteriorate down the line.
See, drug issue is a gradual thing. As I've narrated before, at that stage of experimentation, don't go into it first, because if you do, it can damage your life at instance. I just gave you statistics that 85% of young people 18 to 38 are mad people in Nigeria. Going by that alone, it means that people are still consuming things that they don't know. Now let me give you one that is in vogue now. The powder that we put on our face for we to be beautiful, for we to look nice. And a dry fish, they blend it, put it together and be inhaling. Are you telling me now that in this kind of situation, is this something that is palatable? Is this something that we should be rejoicing about? So at the point where you take drugs, once you engage yourself in it, and once your system accepts it, you're already in it. So for you, the first thing you should do is to say no to drug abuse. I've talked about the genetic vulnerability. We also talk about the biological factor, whereby if, for example, someone's father is a drug abuse person, maybe you take maybe 12 bottles of any hard drink. Mind you, your son too will take the same line. Because a chicken cannot give birth to a goat. If you consume a lot of Indian hemp, know ye that these consequences is also waiting for you. Apart from you at the old age creating problems for your children and your family. Your children also will still toe the same line because you have planted a wrong seed in the family that will escalate. How do we deal with this kind of situation? That is why I'm telling that we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to dot the I's and cross the T's. We need to go back to our value system. There is so much decay, there is so much deterioration in the society at large. There is so much glamorization of things. There is so much materialistic consciousness of Nigerians. So the problem is cumbersome. So if we must tackle this problem, we must go back to our family level. Let us begin to orientate ourselves. At the family, let us begin to inject the right values in our children. Let us begin to tell them that whatever you sow today, you will reap. You cannot sow mango and expect to reap pawpaw. So anything you sow, if you sow bad habits, if you sow drug abuse, it's going to hit you. At the age of 40, if you're a man, you're abusing drugs, it's beginning to tell on you. So we should let people know that whatever you are doing today is not just by smoking it, but as a public health issue because of your health. Once you have that understanding, then you begin to draw back from anything.
I noticed we've not received any calls so far, but please do call us. Let's have your own thoughts on what we're discussing today. And of course, you can see the way I guess is talking to us. Very passionate about the fact that, look, our young people form the major part of the society, actually endangering their lives and cutting their lives short with the habits they've imbibed.
Joshua, I think there is a message here from Monica in Bielsa. She says, good morning. I think the main problem is from their parents. Some parents don't care for their children when they're not at home, in school, and where they go to. Please, parents should increase their watch over their children.
Abdul from Ikorodu said, good morning. About the celebrities who take these drugs, influencing youth is a psychological situation in the sense that these celebrities tend to do things that seem perfect. As humans, we are most likely to do what people like this do. It gives them a feeling like they're in vogue. Very sad. Thank you.
Hello, are you hearing me?
We've got a call. Hello, good morning.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Huh?
Loud and clear. What do you have for us this morning? What's your name and where are you calling us from?
What I would like to say about the presenter that maybe you talk about if somebody is the drug abuse. Okay. Understand? If you match somebody, 37% of Nigerian people is smart. It's not like that. There's many people, you understand, have many problems. And there's no way you can only solve it. If you call and meet someone that maybe you can give him a good thing, you not think that, let me take something that maybe will make me feel cool or something like that. But I know that it's not good. You understand? It's not good. And you say one question again that maybe if your parent that maybe is drinking, you too drink. It's not like that. My father is drunk, but I never drunk. You understand? It's also determined in your own life that maybe you want to do these sort of things. Okay. We are almost 15, but nobody is drunk in our house.
Okay, thank you very much. We didn't get to hear your name there, and where are you calling us from?
My name is Abdulwahid. I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We got the own side of it. We're just trying to draw a correlation between the fact that if your father did it, there's every probability that you might as well.
Well, if you have strong will, if you decided, if you are a youth with strong will, that simply means irrespective of anything, you don't want to go the way of your father. I just want to educate the young man that called. Our parents, there is a natural way of cleansing their system, of which today, the youth of nowadays, they don't even know all those things. There are natural herbs of cleansing the system, of which they don't know. You understand? So if you justify your art tied to your parents, their days is not the same thing as our days. The kind of chemical today they are mixing. When because I grew up here in Lagos, my father, he was not exempted totally from this thing. But if my father dropped a bottle of any hot drink somewhere, you dare not go there and touch it. You understand? But today, parents, you know, they leave things anyhow. In their children, they abuse them. So I'm not saying that if your father takes it, if you are a very strong-willed person, you might not go the way of your father. But statistics have revealed that if your father is a smoker, there's every tendency that you will go the same way.
All right, Mr. Arakbo, for those parents who are not smokers, who are not drunks, who are just parents who are, striving to give a better life for to their children, and so they're not able to be at home to monitor their children's behaviors and attitudes, as Monica rightly said from Bielsa. Yeah. What are those signs they should look out for in their children, and how should they begin to start to train their kids, exposing them to the vices without necessarily making them go through them?
Well, it is a fact that one of the factors responsible for drug abuse is what we call the social pathologies. Under it, we have the parental deprivation. And when we talk about parental deprivation, when you don't pay due attention to your word, it has actually collapsed a lot of families as I speak with you. So what parents should do is this: they should understand that the children God has given to you, they are precious. They are the gifts He has given to you. So if those gifts, they are your heritage, whatever you do today, it will come because it is your replica. If they are not doing well today, you will not be happy. If they go what tomorrow, they will not be happy. You will not be happy. So the situation is this: pay attention. We know the society is tense. Pay attention to your word. Give your family the needed attention, so that the right values that we need, we can inject it into them. So for your children, watch out for them when they are misbehaving, when they are changing friends and all that. You should know that things are going wrong. When you see your son suddenly wearing sunshade, even at night, you should know that things are going wrong. So we need to properly watch out. Check their bags when they are going to school, when they are back from school. All this will enable you to know the kind of behavior and the friends your family or your children are moving with. With this, we begin to raise the issue of drug abuse.
So if someone hears you, the first thing that comes to mind is, what was that beating you that makes you talk like this? At what point did you realize that, as a young man that you are, I kind of allowed my fellow young people just go this way as well?
Well, the states of which drug abuse has destroyed many promising Nigerians is alarming. Due to the unemployment states, a lot of young people are doing different things. And I've seen with my eyes, even close friends that have died due to drug abuse. So I decided to say, let me give my own little contribution to nation building. If I can talk to somebody and the person recollect that, hey, this thing I'm doing is not right, let me change my attitude, that is my satisfaction. I want to add value to the society, and I want to also contribute very significantly and meaningfully to the growth and development of Nigeria.
All right, we have Alhaji Musi from Lagos commending you. He says, I really appreciate Mr. Arakbo. He's a good advocate against this menace.
Thank you.
LTV must please do more of this. Yes, we will. Thank you. And then Mala Madam Singh from Benin. Please, I grew up knowing my father takes hard drug, and unfortunately, I joined him. But I am a changed man now. It is not good to do drugs. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mala Madam Singh from Benin, and Alhaji Musi from Lagos Island.
Okay, another thing we'd like to know is, say the government decides to, look, we're taking this as a public health issue. Where do they start from? Is it the education of saying, look, let us set up like a campaign to look at this, or better still, let us go to schools to create clubs, anti-drug abuse clubs, or where's the starting point?
The starting point is this: the laws are not right yet. We need to, that is why I'm appealing to the federal government of Nigeria once again.
There needs to be a reform.
Yes, the reform. I'm aware that the drug control bill is at the floor of the National Assembly. Action should be speeded up because our youth are dying. We need to salvage the situation of this country. Our youth are taking a lot of chemicals that are detrimental to their health, and especially as we approach the general election, we want to take decision in the right frame of mind. That is why they need to properly put these laws in place, one, to protect the user, and two, for we to have programs that we engage our youth. We need to go back after the laws. We need to float massive enlightenment / sensitization programs going to the schools. For we just completed one of our events here in Lagos, and what we do, we took it to the church also, because we are addressing the issue of role model, we are addressing the issue of parents, we are addressing, it is multifactorial. So once we know the problem, we now adopt the strategy that we use. But very, very importantly, the issue of going to our schools to set up anti-drug clubs, those one is very critical, because we need to educate the younger generation. If not, our society is heading to doom.
Okay, Mr. Akbo, please, before we round off, viewers want to know where your your Twitter and Instagram handles are.
You can follow me on Facebook with Sonny Irabo. I'm on Instagram at d.silecmaster. Then on Twitter at Silec_concept.
Okay, hello, good morning. Let's take this last call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me clearly?
You're breaking up.
You're not that clear.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me clearly?
Go on.
Better.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Jeffrey and I'm calling from Benin.
Okay.
All right. I want to quickly say something concerning the drug abuse thing that is going on right now.
Okay.
Or rather, that is the program that is computer right now. So far, I want to know if you can hear me clearly, because I'm calling from a very poor network.
It's okay. It's okay. We can make you.
All right. So far, I've been following the program and I've been trying to get the specific points on what.
Can you make it snappy? Let's have you briefly. We'll run out of time.
Okay. This drug abuse thing we're talking about is not. If I can get what the guest was saying, it boils down to our Nigerian government, our federal government specifically, that the only way drug abuse can be tackled in Nigeria, first of all, is to create acceptance of these individuals. The stigmatization and the fear of people who call me an addicted person makes individuals die of this drug abuse silently. At the end, they end up committing suicide or being reckless in the society. So let us start accepting it. Let us not see drug abuse as one big thing. Let's show love to these people, because these people want to come out of it. I'm speaking as a psychiatric nurse. I'm a psychiatric nurse. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm a psychiatric nurse, and I'm speaking as a psychiatric nurse on this. Let's show love to the people. Let's accept the school into a public view. Like the guest was actually saying, it should be presented in the law setting first.
Okay.
In the law setting,
okay.
and also more centers, not even rehabilitation center. He was in rehabilitation center now. So mental health treatment or management in general should be taken into general setting and going into the community setting. Let's start from home. Let's start from the primary health center into the tertiary institutions and all that. It is not all about education. Education goes a long way, sensitizing this public, but the government must play a major role in this drug abuse thing.
Thank you very much. I think we got your point. Mental health, education, vital, critical, and government must actually wake up. Wake up. That's it. Thank you very much, Sonny Irabo, for joining us today. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, hopefully, that's as we wrap up on open access, we understand that this is a serious situation that needs a state of emergency in tackling it. As far as cultism, drug abuse is concerned, federal government need to wake up to enact laws that will help people understand that, look, you don't only criminalize it, but you also need to ensure that people come out and embrace that there's a problem and we need to solve it. And parents, you don't leave it in the hands of government, but parents must also understand that you need to watch your kids when they are wearing sunshades at night.
At night.
There's a problem. Okay, that's where we wrap it up on open access, but let's talk sports now. Good morning, IJ.
Good morning, Josh.
Why are you done now? Are you taking anything to help you?